want to talk a bit about the various ways you can track your progress for body composition changes, trying to gain weight, lose weight, focus on dropping body fat, the steps you want to take to collect data to make sure you are making baby steps towards your ultimate big goal is always going to be the same. So I'm gonna kind of talk you guys through the way that I coach as far as daily, weekly, monthly, and possibly even yearly tracking of your progress towards your goals. Starting with the daily side of things, you want to track your body weight with morning weigh-ins. This is especially important for anyone that has to make weight for their sport. Weightlifters, powerlifters, UFC fighters, the weigh-in is going to be a bit more important than those that are just focused on composition goals. But your daily weigh-in and fluctuations can tell you a lot about your progress. So I think it's beneficial for everyone to do weigh-ins. I did just get a new scale that you've probably seen some other YouTubers talk about. They just sent me this body analyzer scale that I'm excited about. Having an accurate scale is really important for making weight. I travel with my scale to meets. That helps me make as accurate of a weigh-in as possible. So I just started using this and I will be using it for my cut for the World Games in Taiwan. I talked about it a bit in my vlog for the Nationals that the scale that I brought was actually light compared to the check scale and the official weigh-in scale. So I ended up having to adjust my weigh-in strategy a little bit and cut a little bit more at the last minute. So I'm pumped to have this new scale that is weighing in perfectly. The scale is really easy to use. You just hop on and it spits out a weight. It also lets you program up to 8 users, which is cool if you have a bunch of people in your family that want to use the same scale. And all kinds of cool tricks this does. And I have a coupon code for you guys for 60% off, makes it $50, and I will put a link for that in the description. The rule in weightlifting just changed. It used to be if someone hit the same total as someone else, the body weight was the tiebreaker, but now that rule has been eliminated and the tiebreaker is now the snatch weight lifted. So there is no advantage to weighing in light for your weight class. My weigh-in for the Nationals was 62.96 kilograms for a 63 weight class. I basically weighed in as heavy as possible. You can weigh in at 63.0 as the maximum. And that's gonna give you an advantage because you're using as little dehydration as necessary to make weight. Now that it's not advantageous at all to be light, you want to be as accurate right at your weight class as possible. It's going to be especially important because I'm going to be in a foreign country and my food choices, I'm not going to be as in control. So managing every little thing that I can control, knowing exactly what I weigh is going to be really important. Make sure that your weigh-ins on the daily are as consistent as possible. So you want to do it first thing in the morning, barefoot on a hard surface, and disrobed after you've been to the restroom, and try to do it at the same time every day. If you have like a weird schedule or you worked super late or you ate super late, those are gonna be like your outlier weigh-ins. If you like changed up your schedule, changed up your sleeping, if you woke up super early, all of those weigh-ins are gonna be a bit different, so don't let that like stress you out. The second measure of progress I like to do on the weekly is taking your measurements. I like to have my clients, and I do this for myself, measure the waist and the hip. And if you really want to measure your progress, maybe if you're doing strength training, if you're doing a lot of squats, you can also measure your quad girth. I like to do the waist measurement around the smallest part of your stomach, like near the belly button, and the hip measurement around your widest part around your glutes. I like to do those weekly because it won't fluctuate as often as the weigh-in. It's really important to do measurements because your body weight can be staying the same, but your measurements going down, and that will be a good sign that body fat is going down and lean mass is going up, which is a great thing. So that way you don't get too thrown off if your weigh-ins aren't the same and you're like, I'm not making any progress, the scale's not moving. If your inches are going down, you are making progress with fat loss. The next measure of progress would be taking progress photos. I like to do those monthly. It's another thing that's not going to change as often as like your weight might fluctuate, but seeing the visible changes in your photos every month can be very encouraging. A lot of times you won't notice the change in the mirror because you see yourself every day, but when you compare the photo from this date to 6 weeks later, and you see how much progress you're making, it can be very motivating and keep you in the game mentally. Photo progress is really important also to, over a long period of time, to look at how far you've come from the very beginning too, not just on the short term. Something I recommend for measuring progress maybe on a yearly or more long-term perspective would be getting a DEXA scan. I got one done at the end of last year to really look at detailed results of my body composition. You can even see like where you're storing certain types of fat in your body and how much muscle mass like on one side of your body to the other, which is important for me dealing with the imbalances in my arms. So I'm hoping to get that redone again sometime maybe towards the end of this year. Another thing to think about, especially if you're doing strength training or a sport, is how you're feeling, how your motivation is, your stamina, your strength. All of those things in the gym are also great cues as to how your body is progressing. If you were the same weight, same body composition, but then you changed up your macros and now you're feeling just fantastic in the gym, that is a great sign that you're on the right track and you need to keep going with what you're doing. As far as my own progress is going, after the nationals, I basically took 2 weeks off of tracking my macros. I had been dieting since early January, and I wanted to fill my class with as much muscle mass as possible, so I was very strict on myself for 5 months straight. Now I am back to it. This whole week I have tracked super solid. I had a really great week of training, my first week back to serious lifting. Going to do a little bit of a physique update. So I'll kind of show you guys where I'm at now, which is not really like peak condition, but it is a starting point for this next training cycle. I am picking up where I left off with my macros right before the meet. Gonna get my weight back down a little bit and then probably do a reverse diet before I need to cut weight for Taiwan. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now, where I'm starting back with dieting and just getting back into lifting shape. This week kind of kicked my ass in the gym. Yesterday it was the heaviest lifts I did all week. I was feeling super fatigued, but I did hit 80 for 2 singles, so I'm pretty happy with that. On the 6th day and the 8th training session of the week, I'll take it. If you are looking for help with your diet or interested in getting started with flexible dieting, the link to my website for my flexible dieting program is in the description. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments below. I will see you soon. Bye.